All right, what's up, hustlers? Man, so I was trying to film a little earlier, but my neighbor came out with this leaf blower, and that didn't work out, so I already erased the board on that video. Y'all know I like to do it. We right here, but first and foremost, your boy looking good, so y'all might believe what I'm saying actually works now. Like I said, this for me right now is just about getting information out here. We're gonna come back later and clean it up. I already got it cleaned up for the Six Figure Printer Club and all of that kind of stuff, but I wanted to just start giving the game away. And I just got off a consulting call, or it could be a sales call, just that first introduction for somebody who came to get a website. And so one of the things that I want you guys to know just about myself is I started like this journey. I was always into computers, but around 2006, I started this web design journey that I was on. And specifically in this video, what I want to discuss is why I no longer sell websites and graphic design. I'm not that I don't sell them, they're just a part of the system. The system to your business is way more important than just having a website. So in the past, what would happen is a client would come to me saying they need a website, right? They're saying they need a logo, and they say they need like flyers or something, right? When we think about starting a business, those are the things that come to mind as far as what we need in order to launch and start a business. So they're not wrong. They're just one piece of the equation to what you actually need. Most of the time, these businesses, you know, it's all going to depend on the owner and what they end up doing after that. But 9 times out of the 10, these types of businesses, people who focus on this, they pretty much, they stay side hustlers, or later on down the line, something kicks off. They just might be like hustlers, but something along the lines will kick off and to get them to start to focus on the business development. Whether they get a mentor, whether, you know, they get so much attention that they start to see behind the website and the customers and all of that stuff, things start to break. And what I tell people is, however long it took you to become proficient at what you do, t-shirts, therapy, perfection, to create your product, however long it took you to do, you need to spend 3 to 5 times more time learning now how to build a business. The same way you became a specialist at what you do, you need to become a specialist at building and developing a business. And the truth is, this right here is a forever project. Your website, your messaging, so much that goes into it, it's forever. My friends who got like rather large businesses, $1 million business, they're forever changing their website, their homepage, their copy, their offer, what they offer, all of those things. And so this is why I don't sell websites anymore. Websites are just a part of what I call landing page. I'm gonna put website here. Website is just one part of the system, but even that, inside of that, you got landing page. Actually, let me put these things here. Let me put these things here in order, right? You got your messaging and copy. I could build you a website. The way that this would have worked in the past is I would go look at other websites, pull some information down. Somebody just wanted a website, pull some information down, ask you your brand colors, see if you got a logo, if you got photos, and I would just build whatever, right? And yes, I'll have call to actions and all of that kind of stuff, which is a start. It is needed. It's not needed. It's just a piece. But to really get good messaging and copy, I got to interview you. I got to talk to you. I got to ask you questions. Then we got to break down your products, right? We got to look at your products. Each product, I'm going to put this down here. Each product has its own messaging. Right? Every product you have has its own messaging. So we need to look at what that is. We need to look at what makes you unique. Right? And let me put unique here. Right now, from that, What comes next? Then we can build your landing page. Here he comes with the blower again. If it's too loud, I don't know. If he comes back here, I think he's around the front of his house. But then we can build your landing page, right? Then we can do your, well, somewhere in here, about here, we can do your logo. Then we can do your landing page. Then we can do your flyer. This is all of the stuff that would technically go into your website. But without an actual process or without actually going deep into this, how do you expect to stand out? I am way more interested in my clients being known to be the best at what they do in the area. Hands down, 54, no hesitation, no repeat. I want to make sure that the people that I work with have businesses. They have a system, which is a six-figure ecosystem. Right? Your first milestone is at six figures. Plain simple, we got to get to that point. Once you get to that point, and really it's around $250,000, then we can worry about scaling. You understand what I'm saying? So that all starts with clarity. You thought you needed to come in right here, right? Where you needed to come in right here. Something that's not on your radar is email and automation. This is what's going to allow when people find out about you, this is what's going to educate them more about what we figured out when we got clarity and what we put together with messaging. The email is going to echo and tell them exactly who you are, what you do, why it's important, but it's going to give them bite-sized chunks of it, and it's going to tell them how to finally become a customer. It's going to have multiple call to actions, multiple wording inside of there that's going to tell them exactly what they need to do to now finally one of these messages hits, whether that's a testimonial from somebody, a past client, no matter what it is, they're going to know exactly what they can do to get the same result, which is important. And then the last thing we do, and this is the second thing that you probably do in the general sense, is we find customers. Right? I'm starting a business tomorrow. I need a logo. I need a website. I need business cards. That's where you're going to start. Cool. No, fine and well. Then you're going to go out here and get traffic. People going to call you, answer. You're going to email you, whatever they're going to do to reach out to you. Those are the only two things that we do. What I learned throughout my journey of consulting and taking a company from 7 employees to 105 employees, from $200,000 a month to $2.3 million a month, I focused on this. This was my job. I did a hell of a job. But throughout that process, things broke from the website, right? So we had to look back at the website. We had to fix things, manage things. I learned that they made a very specific choice to offer one product and be the best at that one product. I learned that in my process of building websites, you need to actually focus on copywriting. You need to actually interview some customers and see how they feel, how they receiving it. What are they doing with the product? We turned that into content to help us get more traffic. And then once we got these people in a database, we built the database up so big, then we started to add in the email. And looking at it, as I went and implemented this system, which might have been out of order, into other companies, I start to put the order together. I go in, I get clarity. I go in, I look at the product line. I simplify the product line. And actually today, we got payoff for a year's worth of work with one of my clients. They got their first sale today, which was $7,000. And we got like 70,000 views in a sense of brand awareness. We got 7,000 unique people to the website. We got 120 or 125 inquiries. And up until yesterday, we had 0 sales. And yesterday being Friday, whatever the day is, I don't know, I might release this on Sunday. But they just got their first sale from all of that work. And most of that work was here. It wasn't until January, Q1, that we actually launched the website. We launched it, but it wasn't perfect. Remember what I say, done is better than perfect. We had to modify it all the time, over time. We only had a forum for them to inquire, inquire about what they wanted to purchase from us. We had no way for them to actually purchase it. There was no store. Actually, today the store is built, but it's not connected to checkout, which is one of the things that we're going to do this week. And don't think you're any different than a corporate company. They don't always have all of this stuff together. We go through the process. I had a conversation with this client yesterday and was like, look, I like meeting with you weekly, but we're not getting anything done. So either we're going to turn these into work sessions that we meet for this hour and you're going to do the stuff that we need to get done right here because I'm doing the brunt lifting, or you're going to take, and after we get off this call, you're going to find an hour within this time to put some work in on the stuff that I need from you. It's not heavy, but I get it. You run into business, but these are things I can't do without you. That's the same conversation I have with one of my students by the name, one of my mentees. I had the same conversation with her, and now we set up monthly meetings weekly meetings, and we got more done last month than we had the entire time we were working together, because conversations are cool, but we need to back them conversations up with actual work that goes into it. And so, yes, I could build you a website. Yes, you can pay $500 for it, right? But is it going to get you to the result that I believe you want? And if you're not trying to get to the result of being the best and hitting these revenue marks, or you have some type of vision for it, which we can figure out what it all is together, but you're probably not the client for me, right? I won't serve you well. You can find a cheaper person to build a website, undoubtedly. You search website, by the time you scroll Instagram, you're going to have a $99 website offer, a $200 website offer. You're going to see agencies that'll offer you go high level at whatever price they offer it at. But my focus is making sure solopreneurs can run their business and operate their business by themselves and get to this revenue mark without me having to do it for them all the time, right? Without having to necessarily hire people or call somebody to get things done. Making sure that you have a system that you can run and manage on your own is the most important thing when it comes to exactly what you got to watch in the last 5 videos. I got some testimonials coming up of just people who are going through the process, who are getting clear and all of this kind of stuff. You never know in this clarity phase. One, it could be, depending on the size of the company or what you have in mind, it could be a very long process, but you never know where you might end up. The business name you have might not be the best business name. Look at Danye. We changed her business and came up with an entire new business and concept because she was holding on to something that's still a piece of what she does, but it's not the main focus. And that name makes it very unclear about what it is that she provides people. So making that transition was what was best for the business, and then we can still refine the other ideas and see how it all fits together. So this is why a system is important. This is why I no longer kind of try to sell websites and stuff like that to people. Let's really build a business, and the business needs to be a system that can work with or without you, and definitely don't need you to spend a lot of time calling people to get the minor things and minute things changed up for yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The leaf blower is bothering me, so I know it's got to be bothering you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Remember, everybody needs a stand. Peace. Remember, I'm looking fresh now, y'all. Come on.